Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Shit has hit the fan big time. I hope everyone's prepared. We're going to have a discussion about this. I want to hear your thoughts. What are you thinking about? If you want to get into the comments section, which can get you on the screen, you're going to need to be a subscriber for 5 minutes. 5 minutes or more. If you got something to say and you really want to be on the screen, we got a super chat button up there. And then down below, we have CashApp, PayPal, and Venmo links in the video description. Shit has hit the fan, folks. It is the Sunday Night Live Zoo, and you are here with me live. My request, well, you have to be a subscriber to comment. I want you to hit the thumbs up. I want you to share the internet address up there with other people. We're going to share a lot of opinions. A lot of them are going to make you uncomfortable. And it's not that I want to make you uncomfortable. It's that I want you to be out of your comfort zone. So yeah, I do want you to be uncomfortable. But it's not done with malice or to be an asshat. I just want everyone to realize we need to stretch. We need to see what everything that's going on is a lie. An absolute lie. And so I'll start the show with where we want to go. Let me just start the show with a reminder. I am America first. I am about the American people. I'm about protecting children, protecting the elderly, protecting our parents, our kids. It's about protecting this country, protecting our border, our economics, everything. Everything, our currency, our economy, our legal system, everything needs to be protected first and foremost for you and me, the Americans. We're not getting that, folks. We truly aren't getting that. We are getting a global new world order. Globalist change. It is crazy. By the way, our great sponsor is cafefe.com. I need a cup of coffee to pick me up a little bit. Just a little bit. And I hope you are ready for what we're going to get into. I've got a couple great super chats already lined up. And we got Iran, we got Israel, we got the entire Middle East. We also have Europe, the United States of America, China. The whole world is involved in this. It is the zoo, folks. So don't think that because I don't start with a particular topic, it's not the most important. If it's the most important to you, get it into the comments or get it into the super chat. But we're going to try and talk about everything that is relevant to what's happening. I'm going to point out the liars, the hypocrites, where we should be focused, where we don't need to get distracted. But ultimately, it's up to you to select what is important. But through it all, I think we all need to realize we need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense. Your plan, folks, because this is nasty and there's a lot more coming. And I actually heard someone say that today. Well, you think this is bad, wait till you see what comes next. And that's one of those mystery things. I don't know what's coming next, right? But I do know that I think that Americans should be protected first. Our interests should be protected first. This is a nation that is a deist nation. It believes in God, and it was founded on the Christian New Testament. Okay, this is not a show about Christianity, but it's a show about pointing out facts. This is not a Jewish country. It is not a Judeo-Christian country. It's not a Muslim country. It's not a Buddhist country. It's not a Sufi country. It's not a Sunni, Shia, Muslim, or any other ridiculous country. It was formed on our morality and our beliefs. But that's not what we're being treated to, is it? Let's get into some fun. I want to start, though, by reiterating, okay, Israel attacked Iran. Iran responded by attacking 8 or 9 different countries. Oh, we'll talk about that. And the United States then attacked and started shooting at Iran. Well, the Israelis came out and complained. Oh my goodness. Boy, did they complain. We've been attacked. It's a violation of the Geneva Convention. They actually said that. These are war crimes that are being committed. There's Israeli Jewish people on getting interviewed everywhere. We didn't do nothing. Jews do nothing, and this always happens to us. We didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. Really? Netanyahu attacks Iran, jumps on a jet, and starts flying around looking for a place to land. Germany received him. So yeah, the place where supposedly Jews were slaughtered in the millions is the one place he feels safe and can go. Wild business. Meanwhile, all of the chosen people, that's right, God's favorite people, the chosen people that he's going to protect, they don't have any belief or faith in their God because they're running out of the country. All the ones that could get on a plane are gone. Absolutely gone. Well, I mean, I don't even know where to start. Let me start with this. So last summer, okay, here we are. It is March 1st. At this time last year, March 1st in 2025, I believe I recall me going, holy cow, Trump is doing the stuff he said he was going to do. He's doing the promises, the campaign promises he said he was going to do. Right? He's starting to get these illegals out. He's talking a bunch of trash to our enemies. He's going to fix these problems, right? He's going to release the Epstein files. And then it ended. It ended as quickly as it started. And then by the middle of the summer, we got this. June 25th of 2025, the White House, and this is a legitimate, actual release. Iran's nuclear facilities have been obliterated, and suggestions otherwise are fake news, right? So again, take a look at this. Back in June, the United States of America, at the behest of the Israelis, that's right, Netanyahu convinced Trump to bomb the ever-loving shit out of a particular, nuclear weapons site. And Trump said, hey, if I hadn't done that, guess what? They'd have had a nuclear weapon. So I stopped a nuclear World War III by doing this bombing right here. And it's been obliterated, destroyed, and any suggestion that it hasn't been obliterated is fake news. So I ask you the question. If the United States of America used its bunker bomb, JDAM, Moab, mother of all bombs, Rod God, lightning strike, whatever the fuck they want to say it was, and penetrated down into the ground and exploded their whole facility, why are we here? Why was it a half a year later we had Israel calling for war? And here we are about 2 months later, and it's now happening. I thought their nuclear facilities were obliterated by superior United States military technology. But we have to go back to Iran, and we have to blow them up, huh? We have to attack everything. Oh, it's a shit show. Anyways, I want to thank Mr. Uman. He is the moderator in chief. Get your comments into the question section, and super chats will be kept track of. Everything's going to be kept track of. We got a lot to discuss. $50 super chats, my friends, and more. Any super chat will get you on the screen. $50 or more will buy a single malt 18-year scotch, and Darcy T is going to start the show off. And she's got something to say. Always does. Thank you for the great support, Darcy. She did a $50 super chat PayPal. And here we go. Just a little prayer there for our troops and our people. Thank you, Darcy. Semper Fi. All right. Now she writes, John, I know that the discussions for tonight's zoo will primarily center around the joint attack on Iran by the United States and Israel. But I have something that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. During the month of Ramadan, which is a Muslim holiday, Christian churches across the country and globally are hosting interfaith iftar dinners between Christians, so-called Christians, and Muslims. It's basically giving a platform to Islam in our churches to push Islam into the Christian community and water down the Christian message of faith in Jesus Christ alone. You'll notice that mosques do not open their doors to Christians during Lent, Easter, or any other Christian holiday to share our faith with them. Here is a short list of locations in Texas that are housing such dinners. You can find them all over the U.S. So the Arapahoe United Methodist, Grace Episcopal, St. Cecilia Catholic, University Presbyterian, St. David's Episcopal, St. Austin Catholic Parish, Grace Community Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that would be the Mormons, and other mentions in Dallas area stakes. She says there has been a push to merge Christianity and Islam into a single religion known as Chrislam for the past few decades or longer. Even if Americans do not practice Christianity, this is extremely bad. Interesting that Darcy wanted to go this route with her conversation piece. And I will not say it doesn't fit into this program. They would love for that to happen. I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, I do not like Islam and the Quran. I do not like the Talmud and Zionist Judaism. Don't like any of them. I think they're both evil and fucked up. Right? The things that they teach their people to do, right out the gate. Number one, lie. Lie to everyone about anything as long as it pushes the religion of Islam or Talmudic Zionism, right? The Jewish faith of the current Israel. They lie and they'll tell you whatever you need to believe so that you submit to them, you bend the knee to them, you kiss their asses, right? And I think Darcy also made a point. I think she also made the point that these Muslims don't invite Christians to come into their mosques and preach Christianity. Not at all. Not at all. Folks, there's so much. Well, this is not a religious channel. There's so much to this. You can see how the United States of America, if you step back, once you say, look, I don't give a fuck if Israel is Israel and they claim that God has blessed them and they're the chosen people, they're not honest. They're extremely deceitful. Right out the gate, done. Right? Same with the Muslim people. These people want to claim that they're here to be our buddies, and then you listen to them, and they tell us how they want to take over, own, enslave, tax, control, and then just fucking dominate us and destroy us and replace us. These two faiths out of the Middle East, folks, are absolutely horrible and horrifying. But they keep wanting us to believe that our faith as Christians can be molded together. Now, the Jews did that with Judeo-Christianity about 100 years ago. This country wasn't formed or based on Judeo beliefs. It's not. Sorry. Now, especially not when the Judeo belief says, you and me as Goyim are cattle. We're animals. We're beasts. We're not human. We're less than them. How can we blend with that? How can we coexist with that? Now, hey, look, you're in your country. Beautiful. You stay over there. You do something bad, we fight. I do something bad, we fight. Everyone stays on their own fucking ground. It's like having nice fences, right? Nice fences. Fences help make good neighbors. Keep them away from us. We stay away from them. Everyone's happy. Same with the Muslims. You guys stay over there. We stay over here. But when you start mixing red ants and black ants, you get a giant pissing match. Anyways, Darcy also wants to warn us that after we're done with all of this Iranian shit, guess what's gonna happen? She says, why do I get the feeling that Europe and the United States of America will be inundated with a new wave of refugees coming next time from Iran? Exactly. 100% exactly. Folks, they tell us exactly who they are and what they believe. I'm going to share with you something. This has been all over the internet, so I expect that it's fully vetted. I have not seen where it was poo-pooed or denied. And I've shared with you guys that since the 1980s, Benjamin King Bibi Netanyahu has said that they own the United States, that they control the United States. Right? They've been actually, there's been other Israelis that have said they've controlled and owned us since Kennedy was assassinated in 1963. Anyways, I'm going to share this with you. We're going to read it, and it's just to give you an understanding. There is no mutual respect. There is no real appreciation. We are goyim. We are cattle, animals, something to be parasitically dined on. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, shall we? All right. America is a golden calf, and we will suck it dry, chop it up, and sell it off piece by piece until there is nothing left but the world's biggest welfare state that we will create and control. This is what we do to countries that we hate. We destroy them very slowly. 1990, Benjamin Netanyahu. Mosquitoes, ticks, leeches suck their hosts dry. Now, this whole term, chop it up. Well, a butcher chops up, right, a piece of meat, sells it off. They want to sell off America, chop it up and sell it off. That's interesting. Interesting terminology, is it not? But turning it into the world's biggest welfare state. Is America or is America not a huge welfare state? Now, back in 1990, yeah, we had the welfare state going, literally people on welfare. Now, what do we have? We've got a country that has invited in a minimum of 25 million new welfare recipients. It has been turned into now a welfare state. Netanyahu used the phrase, we will create and we will control. Let's ask ourselves the question, what good does it do to bomb Iran? Now, we've been told once again, they are a mere weeks or months at the most, but weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. There are videos all over the internet, and I've been listening to this myself, reading the articles myself for the past 30 plus years, listening to whoever is in charge of Israel tell us that Iran is no more than just a couple of months, several weeks away from having a nuclear weapon, an atomic bomb, and they will kill Israel. So we must bomb Iran. But Iran has never had a nuclear weapon, and they still do not, or they would have used it, I assume. I will. But ask yourself the question. We have a welfare state, and it is contributed to largely by minorities that have been told you have been screwed over by the white man through white supremacist racism. You cannot get a job, take care of yourself, provide, and live an honest, decent, self-respecting life. You need to be on government assistance. And so we have an entire segment living in the mountains and the hills, living in the desert, living in the swamps, living in the ghettos, in the cities, of people who will not work, and the government hands money out. So the government passes the rules, passes the laws, and they do that. And then they invite in 25 million people on top of all the other illegals we have. But now this new class of illegals didn't come here to work in the fields, the factories, the food processing, construction. They didn't come here for that. They came here for freebies, and they got it. Now, who has invited them in? Largely, it was Biden, Kamala Harris, and Alejandro Mayorkas. Sorry about that. I gave him the English version. Alejandro Mayorkas, the former Department of Homeland Security head. And they denied that the borders were open. They kept saying the borders are secure. The country's secure. 25 million new people coming in. The borders are secure. Who is responsible not for letting them in? We know who that was. That was the Biden administration. Who let these fucking people in? Or who got them here? Non-government organizations got them here. Who is the biggest non-government organization that sponsors, donates money to, pays for the campaigns of? That would be AIPAC, or the America-Israeli organization. I call it, since they use the term PAC, it's a political action committee. But they have different letters or names for it. But it is the Israel and America Political Action Committee. Okay, they sponsor this. In other words, the Israelis have put American politicians in power that they have paid for. And on top of that, right, they have paid and pushed to bring all of these Muslims in this country, thus creating the control mechanism, our politicians, by buying them. And then they created this welfare system that's been in place and is now being applied to all these foreigners, right? Netanyahu, once again, this is what we do to countries that we hate. America is a country we will suck it dry, right? It is a golden calf. It's gold to them. It's wealth. It's money. And it's golden. And they're going to suck us dry. And that is what they do to countries that they hate. He's telling us right here, as an Israeli, as a Zionist, as a Jew, they fucking hate us. And they will destroy us very slowly. If they believe, and they've told us they believe, they've controlled America, or started to control America shortly after their own country was created by the Rothschilds. In 1963, they are being accused, have been accused, and the research continues to show that they were somewhat involved in the Kennedy assassination because he was denying them nuclear technology, nuclear weapons technology. But hey, they claim that they've been controlling the country this whole time. So yeah, they're destroying us very, 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 very slowly. We have been in countless, endless fucking wars, especially since the early 1990s in the Middle East. And it's cost us trillions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of lives and the health of millions of servicemen, soldiers, Marines, airmen, and even sailors for their contribution and their efforts in the Middle East wars for the last 35 fucking years, folks. Since I was one of these guys, since I was active duty, they have been doing everything they can to make us suffer and pay. They've destroyed us very slowly. This is where we're at in America right now. We are once again being forced into a war that is very slowly killing us, sucking us dry. We're a fucking welfare state. We're being overrun by the very people who hate us. Democrats hate us. Republicans hate America. They're not doing anything with the SAVE Act to make our elections for Americans only, to have election integrity. They're doing all they can. So yeah, Republicans are pieces of shit too. You know, I don't care for the fucking Israelis. I don't care for all the Muslims. I don't care for the Republicans. I don't care for the Democrats. It's no longer partisan for me. It is America and America's enemies, and that's it. There may be some allies in America, but it's certainly not Benjamin Netanyahu, who says, this is what we do to countries we hate. Now, there have been other Zionist Israelis that have talked about countries that they have lived in Europe, and that they admit to openly in interview. And the one that comes to mind is Sweden, because I'm Sweden by genetics, right? But that one, he's like, we hate Sweden. We're destroying for what Sweden did to us, meaning the Jews. I am bringing Muslims in to destroy it. They fucking admit it. They admit it. And they're going to keep doing it. We're going to fight Iran. Whether we win or lose, I guarantee they're going to bring in another shit pile of immigrants who have no intent of doing anything useful for us. All right, Mr. Uman, I'm thinking of going to Chin Music. Chin Music has done a $57.62 super chat donation. And I can't remember if I sent that one to you. Oh, there it is. I apparently, maybe Chin Music sent it, Uman. $57.72. That's $50 plus a 762. And, ooh, that's a nice one there. Another single malt, 18-year Glenfiddich right there. And Chin Music, I want to thank you. Chin's doing some great charity work today, folks. That's all you need to know. And he's here in spirit, and he'll be back soon. Anyways, he did give me his message to talk about. Ooh, that was a tall one. And this has to do with the shooting that happened in Austin last night. He says, here's your shooter in downtown Austin last night. My daughter and some of her friends were down the street. Instead of worrying about taking out Islamists half the globe away, how about we get them out of our neighborhoods first? So in Texas there, Chin Music's daughter was in Austin, and this lunatic decided he was going to start killing people, or trying to. And the FBI is on the scene. They're trying to put together this puzzle. Well, puzzle my ass, right? Okay, just unbelievable. Let's see. Is this the one? Nope, that is not it. That is something else. Guy goes in, starts shooting the place up, kills a couple people, and injures a dozen. Okay, this clown, he's wearing a sweatshirt. He's wearing a sweatshirt that says, I belong to Allah, or Allah's property, or property of Allah, and he's Senegalese. He was not Iranian. He's from Senegal. But he's not here. He is a naturalized U.S. citizen, meaning he's been here a long time. He went through the citizenship process, and all of a sudden, he's decided he wants to start killing Americans while wearing a shirt that proclaims he's, owned by Allah. You believe this shit? Once again, right down there in Texas, right there in Austin, right close to the border. What the hell is going on, folks? Yeah, we need to get these people out of our country first. This guy's not an illegal gangster from Mexico. He's not an illegal from Africa. He is a naturalized Muslim from another country who's been here 20 fucking years. And this is how he decides to pay back the country. Whether or not it's a false flag, and a lot of people think it is. They think it's a setup. They think it's literally a setup. And our very own Chin Music had a family member who could have been easily one of these victims if they had been just down the street at another venue. If he had waited another hour, if this guy had walked down the street, right? You don't know when it's coming, which is another reason we all need to be prepared up here. Understand where you're at. Now, literally where I'm at in Florida, right? I don't expect to see these fucking people. It is extremely rare for me to see either a Hindu or a Middle Eastern person or an African. It's not common. Lots of black people, sure, Americans. So I'm talking about foreigners, people that are clearly foreign. But they're here. But the places where I go, not so much. Still, I watch my fucking back. Watch my six. What are you guys watching? Are you watching CNN? Or are you watching Newsmax? Are you watching Fox News? Are you getting your news off of YouTube? Are you getting it off of X? Or are you getting it off of Instagram or Facebook or Meta? Or are you getting it off of Rumble? Where are you getting your information? How are you forming your thoughts? How do we know who the fucking enemy is and who isn't? Right? I've been watching the so-called social media Republicans are at loggerheads with each other. There's some channels that are very popular and famous, and they're like, Trump all the way, man. We're kicking that shit out of these people. We need to do that. We need to get them out of here. And I'm like, okay, that dude just got his $7,000 check. That's right. Israel is paying their sponsored big shot social media guys in America $7,000 per posting. There are other people who are Gen X, Gen Z, boomers, millennials. They are black, they are white, they are young, they are old, and they are all American, and they see through this shit. They're veterans, and some are non-veterans. But the thing is we, because I count myself amongst them as a Gen X veteran American who sees through this shit, and I'm getting zero money from any Israeli organization, right? I am completely against what the fuck is going on over there, because we have done just that. We've been fighting in these desert wars directly for 35 years and indirectly for 45, back when, you guessed it, right? We had our first Iran and Hezbollah and terrorism and the Marine barracks explosion and bombing, where way too many Marines died as a result of this bullshit Muslim terrorism crap. Right? We don't need more Marines, more soldiers killed over there at the behest of a country that wants to suck us dry, destroy us slowly, just drain the life out of us, chop us up, and sell us off. That is what Israel says they want to do through their fabulous leader, Benjamin Netanyahu. See what I'm saying? Now, well, it's regime change day again. This is a famous picture of Bill Murray playing weatherman up in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, from the movie Groundhog Day. We have seen this again and again and again and again. Regime change. Saddam Hussein, regime change. Saddam Hussein again, regime change. Syria, Libya, North Korea attempt. Iran, we're in the middle of the attempt. Afghanistan, Iraq. Too much. Too much. Now, Israel, while this just started, and also before the response attacks were coming, there's a little bit of premature celebration by the Israelis, who then let out the bag that their next targets are going to be Pakistan, and Turkey. They have named Pakistan and Turkey as their potential, shall we say, targets for regime change. Oh, they're not even close to regime change in Iran, by the way. But because of the United States and its involvement, thank you very much, Chin Music, because of the United States' involvement with Israel, the rest of the Middle East is extremely pissed off. I think I said, is it 8 or 9 countries? I think it's 8 plus Israel have been bombed by Iran. Well, there's only one Israel, so the other countries are Muslim countries. Why is Iran, a Muslim country, attacking other Muslim countries? Well, they're not really attacking those countries in so and as much as they are the American bases in those countries. And then in Iraq and in Pakistan, we have people attacking our consulate, our embassy. In Pakistan, there are now 9 dead and 25 injured because protesters stormed the U.S. consulate. And they stormed the U.S. embassy in Iraq using some heavy equipment. Now, what this demonstrates is a complete lack of approval of America, a lack of respect for America, and a lack of fear due to outrage at the continued use of military force to take control of the wealth and resources of the Middle East and do a regime change and plant someone who's friendly to Israel and Western interests. So hang tight, my friends. We have more violence, more terrorism incoming. With respect to the American bases being bombed, Iran is not doing what Saddam Hussein did and just lighting off Scud missiles and launching them willy-nilly all over the fucking place. That's not what's going on. What we have going on is Iran is very, as far as I'm concerned, accurately hitting American military installations in these other countries. Like they're hitting these bases. They're taking out radar, surveillance, communications equipment to make it more difficult for the United States military to respond or to take defensive measures. The other thing Iran is doing, folks, and I'm not happy about this, but it's to be expected. These people have been watching how to conduct warfare. So we have our Patriot missiles. We have our Tomahawk missiles. They cost anywhere from $2 to $4 million a piece. Now, the Patriot missiles are the air-to-air or surface-to-air missiles to take out incoming missiles. So Iran is sending their oldest missiles into Israel. It's sending its oldest missiles into these United States military installations. And so they're firing $2 to $4 million a piece weapons at these piece of shit junk rockets to try and intercept them. I call them piece of junk, but it's only relative to what is being produced today. The other thing they're doing, folks, is flying drones into these places. These drones cost anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 a piece. Essentially, it's a glider, an airplane with a little engine. They're relatively aerodynamic because there's no need for humans. They're drones, and they're remotely flown, and they may or may not have explosives packages on them. A lot of these have had explosives, and they hit buildings, and they're making a big fucking mess. At the same time, if they don't have explosives, the Americans don't know it. The American military bases don't know. They just know they see an incoming drone, and they can take it out. So they're taking and requiring the United States of America, the military, to use a $2 to $4 million missile system per missile to take out a $20,000 to $30,000 piece of shit toy. You see how much this costs us so much more? That's the low tech. And it's been revealed that what Iran is doing is causing the United States of America, our military, and Israel. They've got an iron dome, which is not iron nor a dome, and it has been shattered. It has been conquered. It has been defeated by the Iranians. But their objective is to launch as many missiles through, get Israel and the United States of America to waste all their missiles trying to take it out so that we are out. And the numbers that have been thrown is anywhere from 3 to 7 days is all we have for missiles. And after that, we're fucked. Except I go, well, either you give up or after that, you have to invade on the ground. If you cannot play the high-tech, precision-guided missile systems In other words, we have depleted our missiles, or will have been depleted. The other part is Iran is like, we have our hypersonic super missiles. They have intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, that have now been topped with apparently some new explosive systems. And I think I've seen a few of them hit in Israel. And they're going to use those. And they don't have to worry about them being shot down because they're either hypersonic or there's nothing left to shoot them down with. Okay, so that means the hell that is going to rain down in Israel and rain down in any remaining American military institutions throughout the Middle East is going to be horrifying if they are good to this strategy. I'm not happy about it, folks, because so far the United States government has admitted that 3 American servicemen have died. No rank, no branch, no gender, no names, just that 3 have died and many have been injured. But if you look at the explosions in and around all of these military bases where footage has been released, they are massive explosions. I suspect that there's a lot more than 3 dead servicemen. Additionally, folks, while being filmed by people who are locals in, I don't know, Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, the people there are happy. They're like, Americans getting blown up. Ha, 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 ha. They're sick and tired of the American bullshit because they don't support Israel. They don't like what Israel does. Nobody likes what Israel does because Israel has told us exactly who they are. Exactly who they are. And we've seen through the actions of our government exactly who is running the show. You know, I saw this and of course I laughed. And I saw this and then I asked the question of myself. I said, self, is this accurate? And the answer I had is yes, it is. This is completely accurate to what is going on. Now, of course, there are actual artificial intelligence videos, AI created videos, fakes of Netanyahu pounding Trump in his ass because he thinks it's funny. He's controlling us. He's screwing us, right? But isn't that exactly what Israel said it's going to do? It's going to slowly kill us. It's going to suck us dry. It's going to control us and created and is controlling the current government. So this is what a lot of people believe. Now, I am not a Democrat. I am a registered Republican. But I don't claim to be either of those parties because of this shit right here. This shit. I didn't vote for someone to bend over for Israel. I didn't vote for Israel first. I didn't vote for Israel at all. I voted for America and make America great again. So nobody gets to say, John's a bad guy. Bullshit. Bullshit. We've all been fucking lied to. We were promised what? We were promised, get us out of wars. No new wars. I don't know what you call the last couple of days. We were told they were going to get those illegals out so fast our heads would spin. The illegals are still here. Right? We were told we would have the Epstein files. Trump, J.D. Vance, Kash Patel, Dan Bongina, all of them and more said we're gonna get all these Epstein guys and there's no reason that it hasn't been released and this and that and the other. Well, surprise, we didn't get anything that was promised. In fact, we're getting the exact opposite of what was promised. And Israel has told us what they think of us, what they're going to do to us, and how they're going to control us. And Trump received from Miriam Adelson, a Jew who loves to wear her little stars all over the place, $250 million. They bought President Trump. And if you have looked at over the weekend or any other time, all of the information coming out with Trump. I know there's AI, folks. I know there's AI pictures. I know there's AI videos. But there are videos that I am now seeing of Trump in his underwear with little girls dancing. What the fuck is that all about? You know, Trump with Ghislaine Maxwell and little girls standing there looking at Trump, horrified, terrified, etc. I don't get it. I mean, I know what it is. I know what's going on. Lots of different people, lots of different Israelis, including Howard Licknuts. Right? All of these people are in on this, and they're being controlled. It's how they created and controlled this government system that is so bad now that we have a puppet president who is doing everything he's told, which is the exact opposite of what he said he was going to do. The exact opposite. Now, there's people out there still claiming, trust the plan. Trust the plan. Trump's got a plan. Trust the plan. It's 5D chess. Literally, they're still pushing that, which they were pushing in his first presidential term. Just trust the plan. Always playing 4D chess. Oh, didn't you know that buried in a bunker somewhere in Iran is all of the Epstein files, and Trump is going to capture it, and then he's going to have all of the bad guys, and he can arrest them. Really? That's where we're going with this, right, man? We're going to go arrest everybody, and look, it's electronic information. You can have a card, right? A computer drive, no bigger than that can hold hundreds of terabytes of information. Everything that they ever had electronically, papers, videos, pictures, everything from every computer they've ever had stored on something that size. You think they're going to have one fucking copy of it? Just one? Or do you think they're going to have dozens of copies made, distributed everywhere, so this information can never be lost? And that is amazing. At the same time, why hasn't a single copy of the drive that has everything on it, why hasn't it been released to the public? Oh, they are good at controlling information, are they not? Yes. And in fact, I think Iran threatened that if they're attacked, their hackers are going to release more videos and pictures of Trump and information on Trump and the Epstein files. And I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Look, folks, it's crazy business. It's absolutely crazy business. We're going to get to a super chat donation right out the gate here in just a second. I want your guys' opinions and thoughts. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what's important to you guys. Let me tell you this, right? So a school in Iran was hit. Like day 1.5, a school was hit. Killed 40 odd girls. It was a girls' school. And injured like another 50 to 60. 100 kids injured, 40 kids killed, little girls. And Israel says Iran had a missile go bad and hit their own people. Well, I'm pretty sure that if I'm correct in my memory, that over in Gaza, Israel had no problem bombing all the schools and all the hospitals and bomb an area, wait for people to come out to start rescuing injured, and then bomb them again, calling it a double tap, a 1-2, bam, bam. So it's hard to believe that Iran, who has no history of bombing themselves, especially children, has a school hit and kills a bunch of children. And on top of everything else, right? Israel says, oh, no, we had our hospitals hit. We had things blown up, and it's a violation. Israel has violated the Geneva Convention, and they're now war criminals. That's coming from Israel, a country, a nation state that has for the last 2 years been killing everyone and everything they can. Everyone and everything they can. And they want to play the fucking victim card. Thank you, Mr. Uman, for putting these great demographics up here. Playing the fucking victim card. And someone, a reporter is asking this Israeli jackass spokesman, He says, they're war criminals. He's playing the victim card. Look at what they did. Look how they bombed us. And the guy's like, you guys just bombed a school with little girls. And the guy's like, no, let's take another question. Let's avoid that one. And he's like, you spent years bombing schools and children and hospitals, and you're complaining now? He plays the victim card again, but it's being denied. Countries are waking up. They're catching on. Victim card declined. Not good. Not going to make it. I thought it was pretty funny. Someone came up with this fucking victim card. Sorry, not working. Not buying it. Mr. Uman, we've got some super chat donations out there. I'd love to have them on the screen. And hey, we've got Corey, Widow's Son, and has become a YouTube member. Thank you for signing up as a YouTube member. We have other memberships also on subscribestar.com and memberships also on thepreparedmind.com. Club, CLUB, which is a place to be a premium member, watch daily videos, be live daily, and of course, have a great membership, and you support us. Everything you guys do supports this channel, getting the facts out, sharing opinions, talking about it. And you don't have to believe me, folks. Check it for yourselves. This idea that you're just going to listen to Newsmax or Fox or CNN, you're not going to get the truth, folks. You're going to get propaganda. Now, I will admit, you're going to get propaganda from Iran. You're going to get propaganda from RT News. That's Russian television. You're going to get propaganda from Israel. You're going to get propaganda from the United States of America. You're going to get propaganda from Europe. It's everywhere. The trick is what makes sense. Big Dan the Man with a $2 super chat says, what happened to the Zero Dark 30 morning show? Big Dan, due to surgery and injuries, mornings have become extremely difficult. Getting up early, moving. This arm here is a little bit jacked up, breaking out the rust, as it were, and being able to sit in the truck in the morning and understand the news and drive. And it's been difficult. I want to get back to doing Zero Dark. I just need to recover a little more. I'm now, pardon me, 1 second. I am now in the mornings as I leave the prepared bunker drive. I'm like, oh man, I need to talk about that topic. But I'm like, I can't do it. Too many, just difficult. It's coming back though. Thank you very much for asking about it. I'm surprised I haven't gotten yelled at it more about that. But yeah, it's coming back. I'll be doing Zero Dark 30. And maybe even tomorrow, especially with what happens overnight. And come the morning, there's some crazy shit going on, especially with this escalation in SHTF on a global scale. And we are pushing towards World War III. World War III. I really believe that it's coming. They're going to get us. Anyways, Mr. Uman, let's do some more super chats. What are you guys thinking out there? What's important to you? And it's Nancy Keg checking in with a $20 super chat donation. And she says, John, keep on with your topics tonight of your choice. Semper Fi means always faithful to the Prepared Mind family members. Thank you, Nancy. You're a doll and just a wonderful supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. Yes, we need to keep up our understanding of what's going on. What do we want to go? I mean, where do you go? Where do we go from here, folks? There's so much. Let's try this. This whole bit about the United States of America is going to get sucked dry, cut into pieces, sold off because they hate us, and that's what the Israelis, do to countries and people they hate. Well, we've got this guy who's been in office forever. We used to believe he was a good guy. He's called Mitch McConnell, and now we make fun of him and call him every dirty name in the book, including Mitch Turtles McConnell. There is a viral video trolling him for opposing America First and the Save America, the SAVE Act, the SAFE Act for voting, requiring voter ID to vote for the most important people in the country, those that run the government at the federal, state, and local levels. Well, Mitch, who is he is a catatonic, no one home in his eyes, just staring ahead. They have put him, he is apparently not dead. They have put him in charge of the committee for getting the SAFE Act to vote. The guy can't say his own fucking name, and he's in charge. Now, see, John Toon, Senate leader, another so-called Republican. This is why I have no faith in either of these parties, folks. John Toon is a complete piece of shit, right? Complete piece of shit. And so we put Mitch in charge so Mitch can take slings and arrows. But there's actually a viral video for this. It's a scene where two idiots are dragging a dead guy around, pretending he's alive. That's definitely Republican Mitch McConnell. A dead man being paraded around Washington, D.C. as if he were alive. And this is a fact, folks. America has Republicans and Democrats who are traitors, liars, cowards, thieves, pedophiles, right? And these are the two parties we have now. Sorry about that. These are the two parties. You get gay Jews in charge. That would be the LGBTQ queer pedophile people, or the Zionist neocon warmongering Republicans, the war Jews that are in charge. Because on both sides, with a very few exceptions, these fucking people in Congress, Republicans and Democrats, hate America and do exactly what Israel wants. And I don't have to make this shit up. I don't have to make it up. These are real news stories, real facts, real happenings, real things, and why you really need to be a prepper. You really need to have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, because we don't know what's coming next. We don't know what's coming next. Our political parties have abandoned us, except for a very few. A very few. We've had a lot of them just resign, either because they're, well, obviously a lot of them were compromised. A lot of them didn't want to stick their neck out, right? They quit. Or they were forced out because of their belief systems and threats. And that would be Marge Taylor Greene, Big Marge, Marge Taylor Greene. She quit, basically said she's being threatened too much. But she's still running her soup cooler. She's still talking. She's still upset. She's still mad. She's still calling out Trump, right? She went off on Trump over this Iran strike, by the way. Nancy, this one's for you here. You know, Big Marge Taylor Greene went off on Trump and says that younger generations, meaning the Gen Z, some of the millennials, these younger generations, quote, hate this fucking bullshit, end quote. So I asked this question: are Gen Z, this would be like a 27 to 30-year-old, right, and younger, and they call them Zoomers or Gen Z. Are Gen Z Republicans, or rather Gen Z constitutionalists? They love the Constitution. They love America. They love freedom. Are they correct in the belief and perception of their world? They're looking at the strikes, the military strikes, and they hate this fucking bullshit. They're looking at everything else. Is their perception of the world accurate? Well, let's take a look at the nation in which they live in America. Our nation is invaded by illegals. Our nation is invaded by drug dealers. Our nation is invaded by terrorists. The government panders to the Israeli Jews, to the Far East Muslims, and to the queer pedophiles, and our government completely ignores American youths. The super rich are richer, and they're getting richer by the day. And the youth, well, if there were any good jobs for them, they have been stolen by the H-1B visa. The Indians who come in here get a job anywhere in any corporation, especially in the world of tech. Remember when Biden said learn to code? So these kids are learning to code. And then, well, these Indian foreigners come in and they fire the white people. They fire the black people. They fire the Hispanic people. They fire the Asian people. And they hire their Hindu buddies, and they pay them a lot less, and they don't give a fuck. So Gen Z gets hurt. They don't get these jobs, right? So they get their good jobs stolen by these foreigners. These corporations have exported their manufacturing capability, and artificial intelligence is replacing white-collar jobs that these Gen Z people would like to move into. Of course, they're not going to be hired in as the COO and CFO and CEO and general managers and presidents of the board. No, they're young. I understand that. But if they got, I don't know, decent jobs, good jobs, if they got middle management positions and supervisor positions and knew that they had a chance at the American dream, they might not feel like they're getting fucked over and making statements like, we hate this fucking bullshit. This is where America's at because of what's happened. And who did we hear? Once again, what did Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu say about America? Back in 1990, and the man is still in charge of Israel. He said, right, they're going to bleed America dry. They're going to suck it dry. They're going to chop it into pieces. They're going to destroy it slowly. They're going to sell it off. They're going to have us invaded and fucking destroyed. And are we not seeing that now? So when the youths of today, and what I put up here on the screen, in fact, I would like to put it back up again. You know, when they look, and the internet is forever, right? You can say something smart or stupid and you can get called on it later, right? You get to eat your words later. Well, they have said numerous times for a long time statements like these that they hate America. So these youths, Gen Z, the Zoomers, the whatever other names they have had enough. They're pissed off. They don't see a future in our country. And these fossils like John Toon and especially Mitch McConnell and Nancy fucking Pelosi, 90 Proof Nancy, they look at them and they're like, these people have enriched themselves at our expense and we don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance. Crazy stuff. Folks, the super chats are amazing. They keep the lights on. No, they keep the scotch bottle full. And they make sure that I'm prepared as well. It keeps our bills paid. We got servers. We got subscriptions we got to keep live. I got news. And it helps me bring it to you. And I want to thank you guys very much. Please, right now, we're at 350 people live. Share the internet address. People need to wake the fuck up. We've got a lot to talk about. We're at the 1 hour mark. We're going to go 2 hours or as long as you guys want to keep talking tonight. Man, of course, if something crazy happens, he'll make sure we hear about it on the screen. So we do have some live news playing. We've got other people that contribute to the show, and they'll make sure that, of course, we hear about it. There's a lot of claims that the USS Abraham Lincoln's been hit, and that it's being chased out of the area and it's in trouble. I've seen artificial intelligence crap, pictures and video. We don't know what's going on for a number of reasons. Israel has told their people, do not show any videos of daytime, nighttime damage or anything. They want to hide it from the world that they're getting fucking pummeled. By the same thing, right? To win the propaganda war, the United States military is being told, do not put damage online. It tells the enemy all about us, right? It tells us how we're being hit, if we're damaged, if we're doing good, if we're scared, etc. Speaking of scared, there's a video released of an Israeli soldier or soldiers running, and the guy doing the filming is crying like a pussy as they're running away from bombs raining down. I understand being scared. I've been scared a lot of times, folks. I've been shot at a lot of times. It's okay, be scared, but crying like a fucking pussy, that type of crying. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Well, they're used to being bullies. Anyways, back to propaganda. Right, so the American military doesn't want to show its weaknesses or its damage. The Iranians, on the other hand, aren't showing a whole lot either. Everyone's hiding their cards, keeping them close to the vest, you know. China has revealed that they have been using satellite imagery, spy planes, and other surveillance equipment to create maps of the entire area from Israel all the way over to the other side of Iran and countries, showing where every military base is, U.S. military base, every installation where it's missile batteries, sonar, radar, LiDAR, you name it. Every bit of, shall we say, intelligence gathering equipment is being given right to the Iranians and told where to target. And they're doing it, folks. Now, well, that's terrible, right? Mr. Uman, shouldn't America go attack China for doing that? How dare China give their ally, Iran, intelligence information, technology, guidance, assistance, and weaponry to attack us? Oh, wait a minute. Doesn't that sound a lot like Ukraine, where Ukraine is fighting a superpower, Russia? But America and Britain is giving Ukraine weapons, advisors, equipment, assistance, everything to battle the Russians. It's the same fucking thing. So China is now doing to us what we are doing to Russia. Uman says, we don't know if what we're seeing from either side is real or artificial intelligence. That was the purpose of the push to artificial intelligence. Make everyone question everything they see. Exactly. Now, if you head back and you watch or read, Uman says, or give criminals plausible deniability. You bet. See Trump and everyone else in the Epstein files is going to be able to claim, hey, that wasn't me. That's artificial intelligence. That's fake. It's made up. That's not true. Same with the letters, right? The letters, the communications, the emails. Trump can come out in a month or 2 months and go, all of that was fake. It was a razzle dazzle, rope a dope, fake them out, 5D chess move to make everyone think that I was the bad guy when in fact it was everyone else. And now we spoofed them out and we're going to, well, you still have to make some fucking arrests here, Trump, Bondi, Patel. Go make some fucking arrests and prove it. Don't give us some low-level scum, right? The Les Wexners of the world, right? All of the bankers, the international cartel, the Rothschilds, all these people, they're resigning, they're hiding. Oh, they're going to their bunkers, folks. They're hiding. They shouldn't have done this. It was stupid. It's the dumbest thing to do is pretend, right? And then give everyone a chance to have deniability, plausible deniability, or to go run and hide. They should have just put a couple of CIA agents, FBI agents, mercenaries, and arrest all these people on the same fucking day. Or kill them if they try and escape. Instead, yeah, they now have plausible deniability. Very good, Uman. Yes. What a shit show. If you've got something to say, folks, super chat button is right up there. There's a lot to talk about. I want your opinions. There's a shit ton of stuff going on. Ooh, man, before the end of the show, I know I kind of messed up and took that down, but I would love to be able to put old Benjamin Netanyahu back up on the screen by the end of the show, just to make sure everyone understands what Israel and Bibi Netanyahu think of the United States, what they want to do to us as well as the rest of the world. In any event, let's go to Boomer Viking 670 if we can. There he is, and a great contributor to the show, Viking, as well as Big Dan, and well, we got Robin and Bonnie Blue and Nikki, and we got John and Dr. John and the other John. We got Coffee John. There's so many of you out there, folks. We got Blue Cord Devil. We've got Chin Music. There's so many of you guys. Every time we got Steve Conlon and Bob Smith and Vincent Boyle over in the United Kingdom. We got Raimi Marish over in Europe. Good golly, so many. David Allenmeyer Jensen. There we go. Also another European. We got people from France. We've had people from Germany, people in Russia, no doubt, people in China, people in Australia, Tasmania, even Mexico. We have Carlos Granados, and then South America. There's people everywhere with opinions. I want to thank all you guys for it. I believe Viking 670 is our Canadian brother from up north, and he says, I don't see a problem with restoring peace. However, I do see a problem with the existing sleeper cells. This is kind of an interesting topic. I want to restore peace. Right? Except, Benjamin Netanyahu's idea is peace. He says, I want peace, peace, peace. A little piece of Syria, a little piece of Jordan, a little piece of Iran, and a little piece of Egypt, and a little piece of Lebanon, and a little piece of United Arab Emirates. He wants peace. He wants a piece of everybody's shit. Right? Yeah, peace. But Iran wasn't doing anything to us. Iran wasn't doing anything to us, to America. In fact, we were told that their facilities have been obliterated, and any suggestion to the contrary is fake news. But 6 months later, we have to go make peace by bombing the shit out of another country. And by the way, they claim to have killed the leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini. And so now they've already replaced him with another Ayatollah, whatever the fuck his name's going to be. Only this guy is younger, and he's more radical. In fact, he is the Iranian Ayatollah Arafi. He is now the new supreme leader after Khomeini's death. And he led in a big rally chants of death to America. Great. Now we have a younger, more radical Ayatollah to direct Iranian vengeance against Israel and also hate us. Right? I want peace. Instead, we made even more fucking enemies. In every country, as described, as our bases are hit and our military people are killed, they're cheering it on because they're sick and tired of America not bringing peace, but a sword, war, death, famine, pestilence, destruction, impoverishment, and what? Now, I too, Viking, getting back to your comments and a great super chat donation is, I do also see a problem with the existing sleeper cells. You're up north in the Great White North. I wouldn't want terrorists around. Guess what? We've got sleeper cells here as well. And they're starting to get active. They're starting to get active. They're starting to get active. Uman, we've got Chelsea and husband have done a super chat through Venmo, so keep an eye out for their comments, if you would. Look, these sleeper cells. So we got treated to one in Austin that decided to go into a nightclub, and we got some asshole doing a mass stabbing in Washington, D.C. along the Beltway. Now, if you guys understand D.C., it's a city, and around it is a freeway system that highways come in and travel around, and you can get into the city and then get out. It's called the Beltway. Some asshole used a knife to do stabbings, and the hits are going to keep coming. These are just little ding-dongs. Wait until we get a professional false flag style massive attack. Massive false flag. It's coming. And I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't the CIA and Mossad who will be working with, yes or no, maybe, these sleeper cells. Because we've discovered that, well, ISIS, you guys have heard of ISIS, right? ISIS, the terror group over in the Middle East. They have hit every single country. And throughout the Middle East and Northern Africa, ISIS has attacked every single country except one. Can you guess what the one country is that ISIS has not committed an act of terror against? Israel. Israel. And Israel. Okay. Mr. Uman, let's get to Blue Cord if we shall. And his Blue Cord Devil checking in. He says, well, he's got a $57.62 super chat donation. And as everyone knows, that means it's time for a single malt scotch. Thank you, Blue Cord Devil. I was getting a little thirsty, a little parched there. And got a good one here. Blue Cord says, peace and prayers, John, Jolene, Uman, and everyone else. Watch your six. Watch your back. Stay calm. Stay armed. Have to go. We'll catch the rest of the show later. Blue Cord Devil, thank you, brother, very much. Semper Fi. Marine Corps birthday this year will be 250 years, folks. 250 years the country Marine Corps has been around. And let me remind you who sent this to me gratis. There we go. Heritage Pewter. Right, made in America. Heritage Pewter, and their website is going blind is not good, folks. I believe it's U.S. Pewter. It's doggone it, pewter.com. I feel very, very bad and guilty now for not having the rest of their website. But Heritage Pewter, you can find it online, and they're easy to find. They're a great company. They do all sorts of stainless steel pewter, and they made a lot of Marine Corps emblem products for us. Anyways, Blue Cord, yes, peace is important. I'd love peace, folks. But we're not getting it, are we? We keep getting promised no more wars, and we get more wars. We keep getting promised things will get fixed, and America will be great again. And instead, we get the exact opposite of it. Thank you. It is pewter.com. I would call them a friend of the show the same way I would call Cafefe, the deplorable coffee makers. Cafefe.com, sponsors to the show. Unofficial, but sponsors nonetheless. And I want to thank you. Just like all the super chat donations, you guys sponsor the show. You do. Let's do another one out there, Mr. Uman. Another super chat. We're up to 375 people live right now, folks. Share the internet address. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. If you want to comment, you've got to be a subscriber at least 5 minutes. And here we are. Bioxo77 checking in with a $4.99 super chat. He says, I think our Second Amendment is only keeping us above water. I think they're going to go scorched earth and do the space invasion blue beam. Well, that's an interesting comment. You see, right now we're completely distracted with a war that could become nuclear at any moment. We're distracted with a war all the way around on the other side of the world where every country fucking hates us or wants to use us for whatever. Right? Our ships could be sunk. We could lose thousands and thousands of U.S. servicemen and women in the blink of an eye. This can go really big, really bad, really quick. I don't think cooler heads are going to prevail in this case. I think it's going to get stupid all the way to the top. Like, what would America do if the president was assassinated with a missile that hit Air Force One or hit the White House or hit Mar-a-Lago? We would be pissed. We'd be like, whoever did that's getting nuked. Well, it could be anybody because nobody likes Trump, including Israel. Israel themselves have told us exactly what they think of us. They've told us exactly what they think of us. They want to bleed us dry and suck us dry, cut our country up into little pieces and sell it off, completely destroy us. Right? Completely destroy us. They don't care. Right? They don't care. In fact, I'm going to send it to Uman here. Let me do that. All right, Mr. Uman. Just send it to you again, just in case. We've got a lot to talk about, folks. A lot. I've got Chelsea and, well, before we get to that, Bioxo, thank you for the great support. You've been a longtime supporter. I sent it to you email, Mr. Uman. If they can't convince us and scare us with the war in Iran, if they can't take us off topic with the Epstein files, then yeah, I think they would go to a space invasion using a combination, in my opinion, of Project Bluebeam, which is holographic bullshit, as well as homegrown, high-tech looking spaceships, UFOs, glowing orbs, strangely shaped equipment, right? And they can claim that. They can do artificial intelligence as well. And they can do all kinds of things to scare the shit out of us and fool us. Whatever it takes, folks, to distract us from Epstein. Now, this is the crazy thing. Thank you, Mr. Uman. Thank you very much, Biaxo, for that. Now, here's the deal. Let's put that quote up there again, if we shall, Mr. Uman. Thank you for bringing that back on. America is a golden calf, and we will suck it dry, says Benjamin Netanyahu. Chop it up and sell it off piece by piece until there is nothing left but the world's biggest welfare state that we will create and control. This is Benjamin Netanyahu, the guy who's in charge, the guy who says we need to go to war, the guy who is forcing America. And you know what? He has to hide them and their control. They said this out in the open, said it out in the fucking open. But here we are today, pretending like Benjamin Netanyahu is our greatest ally. Do you believe that for a fucking second? Well, you shouldn't, because it's not true. How do we get rid of that control, that creation and control of us? You see, he says right there, this is what we do to countries that we hate. This is what the Israelis do to countries that they hate. They destroy us very slowly, but they have to take control. That creation of control mentioned here has taken decades and decades and decades and decades and decades. What do I mean by that? Well, they have to give money to politicians to help them get elected and be in support of Israel and any and all of its policies. But then they offer little gifts, like, I don't know, bribes, little gifts like hookers and drugs, right? Give them little vacations, make them part of the big club, right? That big club that you and I are not in. And then over the last several decades, American politicians have been introduced to pedophilia. I should say maybe heavily introduced to it and made it's like a candy store for these fucking freaks. That's what Epstein has been about, folks, is making it something that these people can buy, creating an organization where they get to brag to each other. And then they used email to communicate and brag to each other and share pictures and videos and set up meetings. And this pedophilia is their control. And it's been all made possible by the country that hates us. And they use this technique. And we have evidence that, yeah, they've done it in the past. They use pedophilia and every fucking perversion known to man to try and bring down Germany in the 19-teens. And then the 1920s, they used communism as well, trying to come from Russia and take over Germany. But the Nazis said, enough of this shit. No more pedophilia, no more homosexuality, no more transgenderism, no more selling children for sex. And they kicked the Jews out of Germany. Or they sent them to work camps, concentration camps. They said no more. This is what Netanyahu is telling us. They're doing the same thing to us. They buy people with their money. And in this case, it's our money. Right? We send how many billions a year to Israel? How many billions? Billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And then we've spent $8 trillion on Middle Eastern wars for the last 35 fucking years. Impoverishing us, right? Sucking us dry. Weakening our country, buying our politicians, and they need to keep that system in place. But we discovered it, did we not? That's right. Comet Ping Pong, Pizzagate, John Podesta, Hillary Clinton, their emails, then Anthony Weiner's laptop, Huma Abedin, Frazzle Drip, and then it all got buried for a couple of years. Then Epstein got arrested. He went to jail. I have it on good authority that he was had the living shit beat out of him constantly. They had to get him out of there. So they faked his death. Epstein's gone. Then they arrest Jizzy Maxwell, put her in jail. Jizzy's sister is in control of FBI information technology. Her dad was Mossad and bought the book company that produces books so that these people can teach American students, our kids, what they need to believe. Now they're learning absolutely fucking nothing. Again, create and control a country that they can bleed dry. They need to protect their system of control and ownership in this country. And you and me, us right now, are demanding the Epstein files. And they will not want that to happen. They're going to lie, cheat, steal, take us to fucking war, crash the stock market, crash the economy, have alien invasion, pandemic 2.0 coming. Who knows what's next? Question I have for you is, one, do you see it? Do you understand it intellectually, what's being done to our country? It's an important question. Do you get it? Right? Do you get it? I get it. Do you believe it? Is there enough evidence to look at? Our country right now is facing our Navy annihilation, potential annihilation by Chinese weapons given to Iran. And it's possible. They're impoverishing us by making us pay for these fucking wars and then give all our money away to all these non-government organizations around the world. Billions and trillions of dollars gone, stolen from us, me, you, as well as our jobs, gone, given to foreigners, corporations, manufacturing sent overseas. This country is being piecemealed and torn apart, just like Benjamin Netanyahu said, piece by piece. Cut us up, destroy us, sell us off until there's nothing left but a husk of a country that's a fucking welfare state, and then they're going to just move on once they've killed us, because that's what they do to countries that they have hate for. All of Europe, they hate. All of America, they fucking hate. And that includes you, Canada, and Australia, and New Zealand. They hate you guys too. That's why they bought off all of our fucking politicians. Okay, let's do a super chat donation. Let's get back into it. What do you guys want to talk about out there? And it is Big Dan, the man Erickson, with a $5 super chat. And I hope everyone's well in the family, Dan. I know that we lightly hear about it, and I just hope everyone's well. He says, what would happen if Iran sank one of our aircraft carriers with a hypersonic missile? Would we whip out the nuclear option? Hoping nothing like that. Okay, so let us detail this. Right now, we have two aircraft carrier groups in the Persian Gulf area. I know we had the Gerald Ford that was supposed to go there, but they're having a little sewer backup issue. We've got the Abraham Lincoln there. Aircraft carriers are like floating cities. It's like a floating state or a floating base, along with the rest of the aircraft carrier group. They're considered unsinkable, only in as much as they have a radar defense system, a missile defense system, right? Very, very expensive, very high tech, these nuclear powered aircraft carriers. And they're escorted by submarines and frigates and destroyers, etc. China has provided Iran with many, many, many so-called hypersonic missiles. Well, they are definitely hypersonic, but they're intended to destroy naval vessels. They're intended to destroy naval vessels. Oh, they just cripple them, or could they sink them? I guess it comes down to where they're hit, how many times they're hit, etc. So let's just assume, for Big Dan's discussion point, that they not only hit but absolutely cripple one of our aircraft carriers with these Chinese hypersonic missiles. Does the United States then have the authority, the moral authority, to use a nuclear weapon on Iran? Now, we've only had 2 nuclear weapons used in an act of war in the history of nuclear weapons in our civilization. Both of them were used on Japan. You got Nagasaki and Hiroshima being the first. And that was used because it was believed that if American troops, largely the Marines, were to invade mainland Japan, it would be an absolute horror show. right? It would be extremely bloody and terrible for the civilians as well as American fighting men. And so they elected to use nuclear weapons as an alternative to killing millions and millions of people with standard bombs, fire bombs, et cetera, et cetera. And that's the story that we're told. We're told that America wanted to spare destroying all of Japan in an effort to get to the emperor to cause him to to surrender. By the way, we still have Chelsea and husband. I hope we have a question from them. Okay, let's put that back up there. Sorry about that, Mr. Uman. If we can't get Big Dan the man back up there. So what would happen? I believe that the United States wanted to test the nuclear weapon out on a city and just see what the hell it was going to do. Okay, I don't think that they were all that interested in saving lives because they killed tens of thousands of people with each bomb. Now, having said that and not knowing the actual truth, let's just say it was right. It was done, the use of the nuclear weapon as a deterrent for further war and killing of millions of people. And it was to overwhelm the Japanese and cause them to surrender, fearing that a nuclear bomb could be dropped on Tokyo, on the emperor's home, right? So they allowed the Japanese in a way to allow the emperor to save face in and as much as he could live, and then he could save as many of his people as he could in the surrender. Now, if Iran uses a hypersonic on our Navy, and it doesn't matter if it's a destroyer, a frigate, a fucking troop carrier, or even a carrier, aircraft carrier, if they were to hit one of our ships and sink it, does the United States have the moral authority and obligation to use a nuclear weapon on Iran? And if so, where would they use it? If you were to use it in the same sense that it was used in World War II to end the war by overwhelmingly just scare the ever-loving shit out of people with mass destruction of a civilian population, can we stomach that in America? Can we say it's okay? We should have turned Tehran, the capital city, into a molten ball of glass with one of our super nuclear weapons. Kill millions and millions of people in one shot for destroying a submarine or anywhere from a submarine all the way up to an aircraft carrier or even multiple. Well, see, we have a problem there, don't we? We have several problems there. If China and Russia see us using nukes, then they're going to be like, hey, gloves off. Now we're going to use nukes. Thank you very much there, Uman. Got it. Okay. So, the idea with the World War II nukes or atomic weapons, they were atomic. They were very, very small compared to today's. It was to stop the war from increasing and spreading. Today, all it would do, in my opinion, first it would kill millions. And it would galvanize the rest of the world against the United States for, again, being the one nation to use a nuclear weapon. So then it would be we fired 3, right? Just to get our way militarily. And in this case, the United States appears to be the aggressor according to the rest of the world. Whereas in World War II, Japan appeared to be the aggressor, hitting us in Pearl Harbor and taking over all of the Pacific Islands. And then we had to go fight them all the way back to Japan, right? Today, I don't know. So using the nuclear option. Now, what if they just wanted to use a tactical nuclear weapon? Well, it's still nuclear, even though it's much smaller, very small. But where would you use a tactical nuclear weapon that would be any more effective than using one of our bunker busters that can drive down hundreds of feet through soil? The nuclear weapon isn't designed to do that. It's designed to just go poof and make a big mushroom cloud, right? So, right, a small nuclear tactical nuke It would just piss everyone off, scare everyone off, and then set us up for more nuclear weapon exchanges. Oh, it's all tactical. Don't worry. Now we got tactical nukes going off everywhere. It's like, fuck it. If one does it, they all do it. So I don't think it's an option. I don't think it's a good option. It's always an option, but it's not a good option. Because, of course, you've got China, Russia, North Korea, Japan, France, England, and God knows who else, in addition to Israel wanting to use nukes and have an excuse to use nukes. And you know that if Iran used a nuclear weapon on Israel, Israel would say, hey, we were attacked first, right? And play that victim card. Oh my God, we've been attacked. We've been attacked. Use the victim card, right? So they would fire their nukes and a lot of big ones at Israel. Wouldn't be pretty. Wouldn't be pretty at all. Okay. Bioxer says, I don't know. I kind of question that. How come people still live there? No fallout, but no one lives near Chernobyl. Just kind of weird about some of the stuff. They definitely blew them up, but okay. Well, we're just going to question. There was atomic or radioactive fallout around Nagasaki and Hiroshima. People were burned. You see a lot of that. People there were, the heavy radiation and intense heat hit bodies, and people are like, it burned the shadow into the building. No. What it did was it bleached out the rest of the building around the person's shadow. The person and their shadow provided ultraviolet and other X-ray and gamma ray and who else knows what else from doing that. So shadows weren't burnt into the buildings, but you could see where everything was bleached white if it wasn't knocked over, right? So people were killed, people were irradiated, people died of cancer. It was a bad scene, right? Chernobyl, that was different than the atomic bomb. That was the fission, radioactive material from a nuclear reactor, which is different than an atomic or nuclear explosion. It's the fission process and the release of radioactive materials. And so Chernobyl is different than the bombs. And Chernobyl is actually different than Fukushima and 3 Mile Island, etc. But there have been other nuclear accidents, not good. Folks, by the way, we went up over 400 people live. Share the internet address. Lots to talk about. Let's go to Chelsea, who did a $50 Venmo super chat. And here we go. $50 means I get another 18-year single malt scotch by the Glenfiddich Distillery in Scotland. I want to thank you, Chelsea and husband. Very good sponsors and making sure that I stay well lubricated, etc. Thank you, Semper Fi. God bless America, and God save us all. We need some help. Shit has hit the fan. Get prepared. Like mother's milk. All right. Chelsea and husband say, we are glad you are feeling better and are enjoying the show. Topic of your choice. Okay. Topic of my choice. Thank you, Chelsea and husband, so much. You guys are amazing. Where do we go? Let's do this. Let's have some fun. They call this war they've started Operation Fury, right? I don't even know what to call it. I call it Operation Epstein Files, right? Operation Epstein Fury, because that's what it is, right? Operation Epstein Fury. Literally, folks, everything is about portraying Israel as the victims, and Iran is deserving and needing this. Literally, Israeli government officials and spokespeople are on TV complaining. They're demanding that action be taken by the United Nations, that Iran is violating the Geneva Convention and committing war crimes. So this is what I got for you, Chelsea. Number one, The hypocrisy of Israel, it embarrasses professional liars and hypocrites. That's how bad they are at it. That's how bad they are at it. Thank you, Mr. Uman. It's incredible, the hypocrisy of these fucking people. They're bombing the shit out of schools. They're killing people indiscriminately. They've hit hospitals. But they're saying that, well, the Iranians are hitting hospitals. Iranians are hitting schools and killing children. Oh, my God, it's a Geneva Convention violation, right? It's crazy. Number two, the Israelis, the Zionists, I should say, the Talmudic Zionist Israelis. Where is their God? You know, the chosen people. They're superior beings to us goyim. Us goy. We are just cattle to them, to be used, to be sucked dry, to be chopped into pieces, sold off and destroyed because they hate us. You know, even though human beings like us, we eat cattle and sheep and hogs and chickens and turkeys and ducks, we eat meat. But we don't hate cows. We don't hate the chickens. We don't hate livestock. We're grateful for it. We're thankful it's food. These people fucking hate us and think of us as cattle. They'll kill anything. But where's their God? If their God is Baal, is Moloch. In fact, just a week or so ago, a little over a week ago, they created not one but two statues in Iran of the large ancient Jewish god named Baal, or also, depending on which peoples, they worship the Moloch. It's a big bull-headed figure that they would burn children, pass them through the fire, sacrifice children to Baal, Moloch. So they made a very large statue, put the upside down pentagram, and as well as the six-pointed Jewish star on there, and then they burned them, and that pissed off King Bibi Netanyahu. But this is their God. Israel's God is this bull-headed figure that comes from way back in Jewish history that they worshipped all the time. Not the God that is, you know, God of creation, and certainly not Jesus, but you know, this deity that demands the sacrifice of children. Why isn't this God protecting them? They're the chosen people. They're superior. Why are they fleeing their own country? Why are they demanding that us, America, Goyim, stand up for them? And right now, Bibi's up in Europe trying to get European nations on his side. And number three, to Israel, why is it that you cry out to the world as you attack others and then play the eternal victim card? I am feeling somewhat better, Chelsea, and every day a little better. He said still kind of banged up from a crash and a surgery, but much, much better. And I want to thank you very much for the great super chat. And that's the topic. Why do you play the eternal victim card? Why do you attack people and then cry and scream like you're being hurt? Well, they are hitting them back, and I guess it's hurting them. But if they really believe in their God, why isn't their God protecting them? Right? If they're so superior and good, right? They're professional fucking hypocrites and whiners and crybabies and snivelers. Not to mention they're also rapists who not only want to rape children, but they want to rape their enemies that are captured. Remember, 3 or 4 weeks ago, they were banging on the prison doors demanding the IDF allow them in there to rape the prisoners. In fact, the IDF themselves would pull prisoners aside, stand around them with their shields, and allow them to be raped by themselves. Raping prisoners, catching it on film, on camera. These are some sick fucking people, but they're the victims. They're God's chosen people because, you know, raping children, sacrificing people to their God by burning them and eating them, and then, of course, raping prisoners, lying, cheating, stealing, draining us dry, cutting us up in pieces, destroying our countries, leaving it a fucking welfare state, and then moving on. Right? This is what they say they're going to do. This is Benjamin Netanyahu. And we're supposed to feel sorry for them? You criticize them, you're an anti-Semite? Sorry. No, this is what you people say you do. And this is one quote from Benjamin Netanyahu. This is not the only time he has said words to this effect. This is not the only Jewish Israeli person to say sick shit like this. In fact, there are many that are far worse. And they're rabbis and other political leaders. All right, let's move on. Mr. Uman, let's do some more super chats. We've got about 15 minutes left. We got Biaxo. He says, so has anyone mentioned the weird, fake Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey, the comedian, the mask, the liar, liar. He did a bunch of movies. Funny guy. Funny. Well, years ago, he tried exposing the Illuminati, some of their symbology, the triangle, and then just a lot of weird shit. He went on one of the late night talk shows, and he did that. Now, it is alleged that the studio audience did not find humor in what Jim Carrey was doing. They were aghast. They're like, holy shit, this guy is saying he's going to reveal their secrets. And he starts talking about the Illuminati and what they do on this television program. But after that, Jim Carrey was blacklisted, right? And the studio allegedly put in laugh tracks to laugh at Jim Carrey as if he was just making ridiculous Jim Carrey jokes. Well, he did. He kind of basically lost his shit after that. He grew that wild beard and did some stuff, and no one gave a shit about him. But all of a sudden, he's back, and he's given an award. But instead of brown eyes, he's got blue or green eyes. His face, even though you can see Jim Carrey likeness in it, is different. Is it because he's older? Or maybe he's older and has had surgery, modification, what do you call that shit? Botox, implants. Did he have his face vacuum sucked to get the fat out of it? Who knows, right? Who knows what he did to his face? But it looks weird and it looks different. And all of a sudden, Jim Carrey is a good guy with the entertainment bosses that are also Israelis. Oh, yeah, folks. Hollywood, movies, television, the music industry, media. The entire American media complex is owned by the Israelis. Absolutely owned. Literally owned. In fact, X as in Twitter, Elon Musk's X, is extremely, and I say extremely, pro-Israel, no anti-Semitism allowed. Even though there's lots of anti-Semitism there, what they would call anti-Semitism. It's criticism of Israel, their beliefs, their practices, their thoughts, and their history, as well as the history of the people that now run Israel, the Jews, the Zionists, the Judeos, or whatever they're going to call themselves, right? Now, the Prepared Mind channel on X is permanently suspended because I violated their rules. Well, actually, the Prepared Mind channel on X was hacked and taken over by the Israelis, literally. And it became a channel in New York that talked about Mayor Mandami, the idiot. And it was all Israel all the time, pro-Israel all the time. The Prepared Mind channel. Until they changed the picture, changed the name. But Jolene was able to get it back into our control. And then the very next day, they suspended the channel. Yeah, we took the channel back from the Israelis, literally. And then they suspended it. And we finally got another letter. And they said, no, fuck you. You're permanently canceled. So these people own and control everything. So why would they? Oh, by the way, I'm circling back, Biaxo. Why would they, the people that own all media, all entertainment, all news, all the time, why would they allow Jim Carrey back in? Unless it's a Jim Carrey who is a clone, a look-alike with a mask? Oh, the mask. Or has Jim Carrey sucked up to them, kissed their asses, and now he's back into the club? Or do they have pictures, videos, accusations for the same crimes and things that everyone else is accused of with the Israelis? That's right, pedophilia. Did Jim do something really bad? And they're like, hey, Jim, we've got you on film. We've got you on audio. You're a fucking pedophile. You were part of the Epstein Fund. You're part of the control group. And we control and own you. I don't know. That's about all I want to say about the weird fade Jim Carrey. It's odd. His voice was different. His face was different. But surgery, masks. It's a weird world. Jim Carrey, though, is not going to stop the Epstein files from being demanded. In fact, with everything happening, people are like, yeah, I see what's going on in Iran. Show us the Epstein files. We're not forgetting Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein. No one's giving up the Epstein files. We know what this war is about. Not only is it about Israel getting control of the Middle East and their Greater Israel Project, it is about distracting us. And people are like, you're not going to distract us. Oh, we could have a stock market crash. We can go into a recession, a fucking depression, a complete and total economic crash in this country and around, which would cause the whole world. Guess what? That would serve Israel. It'd piss us off. But I don't think I'm going to forget that not only are we without jobs and we don't know what the hell is happening, but it's because of the Epstein files. Okay, so we're not going to forget. In fact, all of the politicians, the congressmen, the senators that have been insider trading and making themselves millions upon millions of dollars as they lie to us, screw us over, and allow our country to be sucked dry and cut into pieces by Benjamin Netanyahu. We're going to remember who they are. All you politicians, federal, state, local, we know where you are. We know your names. We know your properties. Even in states that you don't live in or claim as home, you've got bunkers and backup estates and vacation homes. Everyone knows where you guys live, what your names are, who your families are. We know. You're not going to get away. I'm not threatening anyone, and I don't want anyone to do anything dangerous or harmful. I'm just saying, you people are not going to get out of being held accountable. You will at some point be arrested and held accountable. Period. I need to see it happen. All right. Thank you, Biaxo, very much. Mr. Uman, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We've got Big Dan, the man, back with another super chat. He hits the hat trick 3 times tonight with a $10 super, and he says, after all the military hardware we have given Ukraine over the years to fight the Russians, I wonder if Putin will return the favor by supplying Iran with military hardware. And the answer, Big Dan, is yes and already. Yes and already. We're back up over 400 people live, folks. It's awesome. Yes and already. Putin is supplying Iran with weapons. Why wouldn't they? I believe Putin is going to do whatever it takes to make sure that America tastes the same shit sandwich that Russia had shoved in their face by Ukraine. I know that Israel is now being exposed as being the controlling influence behind Ukraine, by the way. Between Zelensky and the other leadership in the Ukraine government, they are Israeli and Israeli firsts. And of course, Europe is all behind Ukraine and they're Israeli first. That's why they're inviting in all the Muslims to destroy their countries, to suck them dry, to destroy them slowly, to cut them into little pieces and make money off of them until there's nothing left but a fucking welfare state because they hate everybody. That's why Putin doesn't want to let them into his country. Not to control his banking system or his government or the social and cultural systems of Russia. They don't want it. So yes, Putin is going to do everything they can to help Iran fight back and deny Israel a victory over them. And I believe the same is true of China. The same is true of China. We got 5 minutes left. Mr. Uman, have we got more super chats out there? Who has something to say? What are we going to discuss? And it's Viking back again with another $20 super chat. And he says, would the world be a better place with the Iranian Republican Guard? Well, they got these names for these things. They make them sound so fucking flowery. The IRGC, who's behind the proxies. Would the world be a better place with whoever is controlling him to come out in front? I don't know. I don't know if the world would be a better place. We know that North Korea is protected by China, that he is a proxy bitch. And I'm talking about Kim Jong-un, right? That they're supported by China. They're very poor. They spend all their money on weapons and weapons research and weapons development in their military, but they can't really grow enough food to feed themselves, so they're fucking starving. They don't have a lot of wealth, right? Everything is for their military. And so that's how that, China, we know, is behind North Korea. North Korea, I think, offered to send their military to help Russia fight in Ukraine. But going down to Iran. Who runs Iran? Well, I really do believe that it was the Ayatollah, but they're allied with. In fact, Iran is the I in the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, Iran, India. I think it was India, but Iran is there too. Iran's been a great ally and supplier of energy. Remember, China doesn't have oil. Russia has oil. China doesn't have oil. But Iran has a lot of oil, a lot of gas, right? And so they sell to China. But that doesn't mean China controls them. It just means China influences them as a net positive trading partner. Iran has been blacklisted, if you will, or shall we say sanctioned, cut out of the world economy by the United States for decades. And they've managed to survive because they have a lot of oil and they trade it to countries that are enemies with the United States. So, the Iranian people, I've met a lot of them, folks. Persians. Whenever you met someone from Iran, they'll call themselves Persians. They've been very polite, very super nice people. They're not Muslims. I mean, there are Muslims in Iran, but the Muslims control the government and the military, but not all the people are Muslim. It's not like Iraq or Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates. Right? It's not that kind of a country. It's a very odd thing. And the CIA and Mossad, Israel, seem to think that they're going to get the people of Iran to rise up in revolt and replace the current radical Muslim regime. What Israel thinks is if they get that to happen, that they can help the people of Iran select a qualified politician to lead them, of course, as Israelis puppets. They need more Israeli puppet governments, and they think they're going to control Iran. They think they're going to set up the banking system for Iran, set up the economic systems for Iran. But Israel hates Iran. And what do we know Israel does to countries they hate, according to the very words of Bibi Netanyahu? Well, we know that Israel hates Iran, so let's just change the things. Iran is a golden calf, and they will suck it dry, chop it up, and sell it off piece by piece until there is nothing left but a welfare state that they create and they control. Yep, just like the other one, huh? Just like the other ones. This is what they do to countries that they hate. They hate Iran. We destroy them very slowly. That's what they want to do to Iran. That's what they want to do to Europe. That's what they want to do to America. And that's what they're going to do to Iran if they're allowed to win. So I believe that Russia and China will do everything they can, in it so much as to send their troops into that country to protect it from an actual invasion. And Israel is now saying that they're calling up all of their reserve troops, their reserve military, as if they're going to go in on the ground and fight. I'm not believing that for a fucking second. I'm not. I believe that Israel is going to pretend that they're going to get their troops together for an invasion, but they want America to do the invasion. In order to get America to invade Iran, a couple things have to happen. We have to run out of missiles, high-tech attacks, and have to resort to a ground invasion. But just running out of missiles isn't going to be enough. America has to be harmed, endangered, insulted, attacked, even at home here in the United States of America. So we need terror attacks against our military in the Persian Gulf, against our bases, and against America here at home, to piss off America so much that we're willing to do a ground invasion. I don't think that anyone wants to do a nuclear, but that's always on the table. But here we are, folks. Here we are. Our embassies, our facilities are being attacked. People around the world are pissed at us. But America is standing behind our good friends, the Israelis. Right? This is what we have. It is a scary world. I want to thank everyone for supporting the channel. Man, I think we're done with super chats, and I'll stay on as long as we've got super chats, but I'm thinking we're done. Now, we need to get these people out of our fucking country, and the only way we're going to do that as Americans is to get the Epstein files released publicly, including every name of every politician, every businessman, every entertainment person, foreign, domestic, all of them exposed, the pictures, the videos, and we either arrest them, have a very quick and speedy trial followed by a very quick and useful punishment. It's called the death penalty. Give them a choice. You want hanging or firing squad? Get them out of our country altogether and take our country back. That's what America and all countries need to do. They need to be nationalists. In other words, Russia needs to care about Russia. China needs to care about China, which they already do. Japan is in the process of caring about Japan, and they're getting rid of their unwanted, unneeded, unnecessary immigrants that are there to destroy and Islamify Japan. Japan's doing it in America. We need to get rid of the people that are trying to destroy our country, that have told us they fucking hate us and want to suck us dry and destroy us and sell us off and leave us for dead. It's not part of my plan. America does have the Second Amendment, all of our guns and ammunition. Will they destroy us utterly? Will they go scorched earth and ruin this country? Will they attack us with cyber attacks? Will they nuke us if we don't give in? Has the world learned yet that the people who now inhabit and live in Israel and call themselves Israelis claim to be God's chosen people, who have been caught, literally caught red-handed, admitting that they control the world through blackmail and pedophilia? Will America learn, after thousands of times being kicked out of over 100 different countries over the last 1,000 years, it's never their fault? Everything's a Holocaust. They didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing. Yet you look at what they admit to. You look at what they believe, what they say, what they claim. Yeah, we're going to suck you guys dry. We're going to destroy you. What an appropriate term, to suck. That's what vampires do. That's what parasites do. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Depending on how I feel, I'll be doing Zero Dark 30 tomorrow. Not too sure, though, but I'll be up Zero Dark regardless, watching what's going on in our world. Thank you for the great show, my friends, for the great support with the super chats. All of you. Couldn't do it without you. Can't do it without you guys. Thank you for supporting, sponsoring, being members, etc. For you to get prepared, go to thepreparedmind.club. See what you need to get prepared for what could befall us all. Lights out, blackout, food interruptions, water interruptions, cyber attacks, banking interruptions, stock market crash, economic collapse, invasion, pandemic, aliens, right? What we know is we have enemies that hate us, and they're telling us so. Get prepared, my friends. God bless you all. God bless America. Chance favors the prepared mind. Semper Fi.